All right, so you've been watching my videos, you saw all the client acquisition systems, you've applied it, you're an action taker, you already got your first couple clients, now you're getting clients pretty consistently, but you're making $5,000 to $10,000 a month and you're working like 8, 10 hours a day. And you're just thinking, how are those big agencies making $50,000 a month? How are they making more money and they're working less? So you found this video right now, and I'm going to teach you how you can hire someone to actually do most of the work for you so that you can actually scale to those higher numbers and 5-figure months. Let's get right into it. So number one, I always talk about it in my videos, and you want to frame yourself not as a freelancer or as a web designer, but as a web design agency owner. And I struggled with this at the start because when clients used to reach out to me, or when I reached out to clients, they used to work with Abou and not Abou's agency. So in the future, when I do get referrals, these future clients are expecting to work with Abou and not my agency. So you want to make sure that you're the agency owner and you're handling everything and overseeing everything to make sure that the quality is very good, but you don't want to be the one actually making the website. Because in the future, when those clients want to work with Abou and you're super full with clients, you won't be able to take on more clients. And if you do end up outsourcing the work, these clients are not going to be happy because they want to work with you. So I had someone that asked me a question, and he said, when do you want to start hiring people for your agency? How much do you need to make in order to start hiring people? And that's a very good question, because you don't want to make a dollar amount. It's more the time that you're investing into the business when you want to hire people to replace you for certain tasks. Example, let's say I'm working only an hour a day and I'm making $20,000 a month. At that point, I could pretty much just quadruple the amount of time I'm working, work 4 hours a day, and make $80,000 a month, and it still wouldn't be bad because I'm only working 4 hours a day. But if I'm only making $5,000 or $10,000 a month and I'm working 10 hours a day, I can't work 20 hours a day because I need to sleep and I need to eat and I need to do a lot of different stuff. So that's when you want to start hiring people and put them into certain positions in your business so that you can eventually scale. Now, how we're going to hire someone is I'm going to give you a checklist and I'm going to show you where you can hire people so that you get the best people for your agency. So before you even think about hiring anyone, you want to make sure that you hire the right person, because if you hire the wrong person, it's going to cost you time, money, and the client's trust. And the client's trust and your reputation is the most important thing, because know the client. You can't blame it on your web designer like, oh no, it's not me, it's not my fault, it's my web designer. Even if you portray yourself as the web design agency owner, you're going to take all the blame and you're the point of contact, so the client will get mad at you. Think about last time you had a problem with any corporation, let's say the bank, for example, and your account got blocked or they denied a transaction. You're not getting mad at the owner of the bank. Matter of fact, you don't even know who it is. You're getting mad at your point of contact. So the person who you're communicating with, who's working at the bank, you're like, bro, why can't you help me? You're super annoying. You're getting mad at him. You're not getting mad at the owner of the bank. So it doesn't matter. You're the point of contact. Make sure you provide results, because if you don't provide results, everything will fall onto your shoulders. That's super important. Now let's get right into it. So here's a checklist. So step number one, they need to have killer communication. And that's super important because communication, especially for me, I don't really do any of my copywriting. I've been working with the same web designer for like 3-4 years. So we have a checklist and we have a system on how we do copywriting, but he needs to understand English perfectly, because, and he can't chat GPT, like he needs to truly speak English, because if he's going to do your copywriting, and basically what I do is I send over the information of the onboarding form to my web designer, and based off of the onboarding form, that's how he does the copywriting, following my whole system. So if he's not able to actually follow the system and do proper copywriting how the client wants it and do some SEO on it, then he's probably not a good web designer. So communication needs to be flawless. And one thing you need to remember is that you have to be absolutely ruthless when you hire people. Like, borderline, you have to be mean, you know? Be extremely quick to fire people and hire people like have high standards, because it's super draining when you hire someone and they're bad and now you have to kick him out, change all the systems, especially if you already invited them. Now you have to go through the hassle of deleting them from whatever system you had and all that stuff. And it's just super, super annoying. Just make sure you hire the right people. Number two, step two is you want to have a review filter on Fiverr. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Fiverr to hire someone. And I've gone through maybe like 3 or 4 web designers in my 3 years of running this business. And all of them were pretty good actually. Just certain things happened where I had to switch. But Fiverr is a pretty good place to hire people actually. And I'm surprised. And a lot of people hired some people in Fiverr and they just had bad experiences. All the times I've hired people on Fiverr, they've always been phenomenal. So minimum rating, 4.9 or 4.8 plus, level 2 or top rated, and 100% consistency. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that in a bit. But step 3, you want to check out their portfolio. So whenever you message them, you want to make sure that they have a portfolio of like building websites with whatever platform you use, because you don't want to believe people's word. You always want to have something to back it up. Like if they say, oh yeah, 100% I can build with Framer, but it says WordPress Elementor on their profile, then don't get them to make a Framer website right away with a client. Test it out a little bit, and then later on, you can hire them for full-on projects. And then after, they must agree to do a paid test task. So I wouldn't make them do right away a full website. I would maybe have a website that's already built, and then once the client asks for a revision, then I'll go for on Fiverr or like a website that I've already done in the past. Then I'll go on Fiverr and be like, hey, can you update this website for me? And then whether it's hourly rate, like $10 an hour or whatever it is, you get him to do that. You test his communication, how fast he's able to answer you. Even if there's not really any revisions, be a little bit of a dick. Like be like, oh, I don't really like this part. Can you change it? See how he reacts. So then later on, you can expect how he's going to react in the future. Because the last thing you want to do is you think he's really good, you give him one revision, and then you switch over, and then he just gets super mad, like, hey, like, I don't want to do that. And, like, you just want to make sure that you can have a long-term relationship with them. You're just going to go on Fiverr. You're going to search up whatever platform you use. So I'm going to go with WordPress Elementor right here. And then you want to go into seller details. And then you want to select top-rated seller or level 2, and then apply it. And one thing, by the way, all these guys, like, for example, this guy, 4.9 stars, 1,000+ reviews, obviously, this guy is not making all his websites. You know what I mean? So if you see my videos on Instagram, I talk a lot about the Indian method where we're just outsourcing work to people overseas. A lot of these people, yeah, we're using the Indian method, but they're using the Indian method in India. So basically, they have teams under them. And since they're in the country, they have access to like the very, very cheap web developers. My web designer himself actually does that. And my whole mentorship group uses my same web designer, the one that I use for my projects, for themselves, and he has a team under him, and he's able to take on multiple projects at once. To be honest, I don't care how he does it, but the quality is phenomenal every single time. That's all I care about for my clients. And then you want to reach out to them, and how you're going to get their contact information is like this. You're going to go and click on them, and then what I did is I would open up a doc, and I would just be like, I would contact them, hey, ask a question right here, and I would be like, hey, I need you to make me a website. Here is the information about the website in this document. This is how I get their contact information. I don't know if I'm allowed to do this. And then I would make it into anyone can open the link right here. And then hey, I'd like to hire you for multiple projects. I have a web design agency, and I'd like you to be my dedicated web designer. Here is my phone number, 133-456. You can message me. I would say something like that, and then I would basically just share like this, copy the link, put it into the Fiverr chat right here. And then that way, they're going to open the document. And then obviously, the $80 right here, this is probably included with whatever Fiverr charges them for like being able to be on the platform or whatever they pay per month. I don't know. But you're going to get a discounted price because instead of paying on Fiverr, now you're paying them directly, you know? And this is how you hire the right person. Now I'm going to show you on Cloudways how you can actually give him access and he can handle all of your websites. You want to work with them long term. And you don't want to always log into WordPress, go into users, give him access to the dashboard over and over again. You obviously want to automate everything eventually. So now on Cloudways, I'm going to show you how you can actually give him access to your Cloudways and he can access all of your applications. So if you've been watching my videos, you've been using Cloudways already, it should be pretty simple. So now, how do we actually give them access to our Cloudways? So if you watch my other videos, you know how to set up Cloudways, but we're going to go really quick. You're going to click the first link in the description. I already have an account, so I'm just going to log in right here. And then you're going to land on a page that looks like this. You want to do this once you set up your agency. You should already have a couple servers, but you're just going to select an application. I always use WordPress, and whatever I build my websites on, even when I'm using AI, I always get my web designer to go off of the AI and transfer it into WordPress just because I like to keep everything into one place. Sometimes I'll just keep everything on the AI platform that I use, but I just try to keep everything in one place so I can manage all of my clients. Now I'm going to select WordPress, name your app. So I'm going to name this the name of the client. So that's going to be John Smith. I don't know who that is, but I use him for all of my videos. And then the server name is going to be the client's location. So USA clients, for example. And then you can go ahead with the basic or like the 1 GB since it's one website. And then you can actually also use this for your own agency website. So if you want to start off with your own agency website, which I highly recommend, I have a video on that that you can check out. But you can just select the lower one and then just click launch now. Now, once that's launched, it's going to take a couple minutes. You're going to be in the Cloudways dashboard right here. And what I want you to do is I want you to head over to the left side right here, and then you're going to click on Teams. Sorry, this is the guy that, this is my business partner. He runs ads for me as well. Then you want to click on Add Member right here. And then obviously as you're talking with the guy, you're going to ask him, what's your name, what's your email, all that stuff on WhatsApp. Let's say that it's aboutoure.business, which is my email. His name is VHJ, just because it's already here. Let's get another John Smith in here actually. And then his job title is going to be web developer. And in the future, when you do have project managers and stuff like that, you can always add people over here. So Cloudways is freaking phenomenal because you can actually use it to build your own clients. I already talked this in past videos. If you want me to show you in a future video, let me know. But you can use Cloudways to do pretty much everything. And it's super good to handle everything in one place. Now, I'm going to add him over here as a web developer right here. And then his status, active, obviously. And then you never want to give them billing access. So maybe your project manager or like your business partner or whatever, you can give him billing access so that he can actually bill your clients since he's going to manage the project. But in the future, also support right here. You can't click support for them, but then you want to give him access to flexible right here. And then just give full access or like limited access to specific servers. So yeah, he can add servers. So for example, if you get a new client that's, let's say you've been working with clients in Canada and the US only for like the past couple months, and then all of a sudden you get a referral and it's your uncle from Australia, for example, give him, let him be able to add servers right here, manage projects, and then he can also manage add-ons. So if he wants to add bot protection on a website or like malware protection on the website, then you just go ahead and just click on it over here. And then I have 3 servers, clients from Australia, Canada, and clients from the US. I'm going to give him access to everything. And then you can just click add member over here. I'm not going to click it because obviously that's my email and I don't want to add myself. But it is pretty straightforward on here. And this is how I give him access to everything. Now he can manage pretty much everything. So I don't need to go create an application myself. What I would do is once the client fills out the form, I would just send over the form information to my web designer. I'll say, hey, this is the client's name. Well, the client's name is already on the form anyway. And then my web designer will just go into Cloudways, go into flexible right here. He would go into applications, add application, select a server, let's say Canadian clients, add application right here. Application is going to be WordPress. He would name it the name of the client. So let's say the client is not John Smith. Let's say it's John Fred. So John Fred, like this. And then he would just click add application. He would just skip all of this, go through everything. Application will get started right away. And then whenever the application does get started, he would just fully have access to everything from there. And I pretty much, once I give him access to the Cloudways, I don't need to do anything anymore. Everything is handled for me. So I hope this video was useful. This is how you hire the right people for your agency. And obviously, like I said, it is going to take some practice. Right now, I can hire people pretty easily just because I have my brand. I can just post a story and pretty much just have a form and everything. But it is going to take some time to be good at hiring because it is a skill. And you need to practice being ruthless because you don't want to hire just anyone for your agency. I hope this video was useful. If it was, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, follow my Instagram. You know the drill. And as always, I will see you guys later.